Class 8 geography class. It is your geography class and today's topic is rocks. So you have to know what is rocks and the substances that form rocks and the types of rocks, etc. Rocks are aggregates of one or more minerals. They can exist in different forms. The earth crust is mainly formed with rocks. The elements that forms the earth crust is rocks, and rocks are the aggregates of one or more minerals. The aggregates may be homogeneous types or may be heterogeneous types. Minerals are composed of chemicals. A mineral can contain only one chemical or a combination of chemicals. All minerals have definite chemical and physical properties. Some examples of minerals are gold, copper, silver, nickel, mica, gypsum, iron ore, quartz, feldspar, etc. About 2000 known minerals in different combinations are responsible for the formation of rocks. Except minerals, rocks can also contain mineral oils and organic remains of plants and animals. The homogeneous aggregates refers to the substances where the elements remain in equal quantity everywhere, and the heterogeneous aggregates refers to that elements where all the elements are formed in different ratio in different places. Rocks may formed with the help of minerals, sometimes organic remains of plants and animals, and also mineral oils. The permeability of rocks refers to the ability or capacity of substances to allow liquid and gaseous substances to pass through it, and the rocks which have more cracks behind them are more permeable. And if permeability increases in the rocks, the capacity of intaking water or liquid or gaseous substances decreases. And the porosity is the ratio between voids in a rock mass and its total volume. Mudstone is highly porous. If porosity increases in the rocks, then the capacity of intaking gaseous or liquid substances increases gradually. And these two characteristics, that permeability and porosity, differs from rocks to rocks. For example, mudstone is highly porous, but sandstone is highly permeable. but the capacity of taking water in it is greater in mudstone, lesser than sandstone. The differences between minerals and rocks are as follows. Minerals have definite chemical composition, but rocks do not have definite chemical composition. Minerals usually have the same color, shape or texture, but rocks, the color of rocks or shape or texture may vary in different rocks. Minerals are made up of chemicals, but rocks are made up of minerals. Minerals do not contain organic matter. Rocks contain organic matter. So, these are the differences you may note in your copy. Now I am discussing with you about the types of rocks. On the basis of development, rocks may divide into three categories: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Igneous rocks comprises the earth's surface or the earth's crust first, and sedimentary rocks or metamorphic rocks may derived from the igneous rocks. Hence, as the igneous rocks are developed first in the earth, so it's called as parents of all rocks or primary rocks. The particular term igneous is derived from the Latin word ignis, which means fire. And in the earlier stages, when earth originated, it was a hot molten ball of fire, and the igneous rocks are formed by the cooling of that molten materials, which was called as magma, and the earth crust also developed from that molten magma, or in present time volcanic eruptions are the responsible for the development of igneous rocks. The hot molten magma cools and solidifies by the atmosphere and form igneous rocks. A wide variety of rocks are formed on the basis of cooling rates and chemical composition of the magma. On the basis of existence of igneous rocks, it may be classified again into intrusive rocks or plutonic rocks, or extrusive rocks or volcanic rocks. Intrusive rocks are formed when magma solidifies below the surface of the earth, and the rate of cooling below the surface of the earth is very slow due to the absence of atmosphere. Hence, large mineral crystals are formed on the rocks, and the example of intrusive or plutonic rocks are granite and dolerite. On the other hand, sometimes magma may erupted on the surface of the earth, and at that time rapid cooling of molten lava on the surface of the earth may take place, and after cooling rapidly extrusive rocks are formed. Hence, due to rapid cooling or solidification, the crystals of the extrusive rocks are very small, and some examples of extrusive rocks are gabbro, basalt and rhyolite. Igneous rocks specially may classified again into acidic rocks or basic rocks on the basis of chemical composition. Acidic rocks contain 65% of silica and low percentage of oxides. Acidic rocks are light colored and are less dense, whereas basic rocks contain less percentage of silica and high amounts of oxides. These rocks are dark in color and dense. Graphite are the example of acidic rock, and basalt is the example of basic rock. Granite is an example of acidic rock and basalt is an example of basic rock. Now, sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks are mainly formed by the process of lithification. And lithification means cementation, compaction and consolidation of sediments to form rocks. The word sedimentary is derived from the Latin word sedimentum, and sedimentum means to settle down. These rocks are known as secondary rocks, and they are formed by the accumulation of small pieces of pre-existing rocks or parent rocks in the low surface of the earth by river or air, and due to heat and compression, these small particles of rocks may cemented or compact and formed sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks can be classified as classic or mechanically formed sedimentary rocks and chemically formed sedimentary rocks. Classic or mechanically formed sedimentary rocks are basic sedimentary rocks, and these type of rocks are formed by the cementation of small pieces of broken particles of rocks, and example of this type is sandstone. Chemically formed sedimentary rocks are formed due to the chemical reaction. When water evaporates and some minerals left in the dissolved solution, they may form sedimentary rocks. They are usually found in hot, arid land where repeated flooding and evaporation leave behind thick deposits of salt and gypsum over long periods of time. Mainly water here play a important role to develop sedimentary rocks as chemical solution mainly required for the formation of chemically formed sedimentary rocks. Examples of this type is limestone. Now, another type of sedimentary rocks which are formed by organically. And organically formed sedimentary rocks may further classified as calcareous and carbonaceous sedimentary rocks. Calcareous, the word cal for calcium, which comes from the bones of animals, and rocks are formed due to the lithification of dead animal remains in the rocks. Mainly, dead animals are responsible for the development of calcareous rocks, and example of these types are corals and limestone. Another class is carbonaceous. Carbon implying for derivation from plant remains that are rich in carbon. So carbonaceous rocks are developed for the lithification of plants, dead plant particles or the remains of plants which are rich in carbon. So there have high percentage of combustible carbon. Example is coal. In the next class, I will discuss with you about metamorphic rocks and the rock cycle or the effect of rocks or significance of rocks on our economy or non-economic activities. Thank you.